Okay, in this case, we already have the terms with the variables on one side and the terms without on the other. Where we have an issue is that we do have a coefficient for our x squared term, and it's a -1. So we deal with this by dividing, and let's just do the whole thing. We divide both sides by -1. And what this does is it just changes all of the signs. So now I'm going to have x squared minus 2x equals +5. And now I can go ahead and use my box to figure out how to complete the square, figure out what I need to add to both sides of the equations to create a perfect square on the left-hand side. So I've got x squared, and I need to take my -2x and break it in half, so I have -x and -x. So now, this is x and this is x. This has to be -1, and this has to be -1, giving me +1 over here that I need to add to both sides. So I'm now going to add 1 to both sides. And that will give me x squared minus 2x plus 1 equals 6. Okay, I can now go ahead and write this left-hand side in factored form. So I have x minus 1, which again, I can just look back to the box I've already used to find that. X minus 1 squared, and that equals 6. I now take the square root of both sides, and again, it's plus or minus the square root of 6. Okay. And now I've got x minus 1 equals plus or minus the square root of 6. Can I simplify the square root of 6? Well, let's see here. 6 factors as 2 times 3. There is not a perfect square there, so I cannot simplify it. So let's go ahead and break this now into 2 equations. So I have x minus 1 equals the square root of 6. And I also have x minus 1 equals the negative square root of 6. I will now add 1 to both sides, giving me x equals 1 plus the square root of 6. And over here on this side, x equals x equals 1 minus the square root of 6. I was getting ahead of myself. Okay, one more step. Let's write our answer. So now x equals, and again I'm going to write it in the simplified form, 1 plus or minus the square root of 6.